With more venomous species than almost every other country in the world, Australia earns the title of having the most deadliest venomous animals that are fatal to humans. From gigantic saltwater crocodiles to enormous great white sharks, potent jellyfish, and some of the largest spiders you can imagine. Australia is a nightmare-fueled continent only some people can handle. But what if I told you it's like a children's tea party compared to how chaotic it used to be? We're talking prehistoric predators the size of cars, flesh-tearing kangaroos 3 times the size of a regular one, and reptiles that could give dinosaurs a run for their money. One being the rhino-sized Komodo dragon, known as Megalania. You probably heard about it as it's widely known as the largest land lizard and was part of a giant species of monitor lizard. Referred to scientifically as Varanus priscus, this terrestrial beast retained its popular name despite its recent taxonomic reclassification. One interesting fact is that the word Megalania means the great roamer, which fits perfectly with its features. Estimates suggest lengths of at least 3.5 meters or 11 feet, and weights around 158 kilograms, or 348 pounds. Although some researchers propose sizes exceeding 7.9 meters or 26 feet and weights up to 2 tons. Though massive in stature, the Megalania was more than just a hulking behemoth. It shared features with its contemporary cousins, such as robust limbs equipped with keen claws for subduing enemies and razor-sharp teeth for securing prey. Adding to its deadly weapons, the Megalania may have possessed venom, akin to its monitor lizard counterparts. This venom, like that of certain snakes, worked as an anticoagulant, preventing wounds from healing and resulting in shock and infection. Drawing parallels with the Komodo dragon, its closest living animal, some experts speculate that the Megalania employed similar hunting strategies, ambushing prey, delivering a venomous bite, and allowing the toxin to incapacitate its quarry. That's why even evading a Megalania's attack is near to impossible. With its lethal combination of size, strength, and venom, the Megalania stands as a testament to the formidable predators that once roamed Australia, making it arguably the most fearsome enemy anyone could encounter. However, a place where almost every creature seemed to be on a larger scale, there is always another towering creature. Alongside the biggest reptile ever, prehistoric Australia was home to towering birds, notably the Dromornis. Resembling the fearsome terror birds, this ancient avian belonged to the Dromornithidae family of flightless birds. Like many of their ancient counterparts, size served as a crucial defense mechanism. Dromornis sturtoni, popularly known as Sturton's thunderbird, weighed up to 500 kilograms and stood over 3 meters in height, making it heavier than the giant moa of New Zealand and taller than the elephant bird of Madagascar. Despite their intimidating appearance, members of this family were likely herbivores. Nevertheless, the feeding habits of these ancient creatures have sparked considerable debate among scientists. Central to this discussion is the distinctive skull and massive bill, which has led to divergent theories about its dietary preferences. Initially, it was suggested that the specialized bill was adapted for cropping and breaking plant material. Later, the discovery of gastroliths or stomach stones alongside the remains of these birds at fossil sites supported the idea of an herbivorous diet. However, some researchers have challenged this hypothesis, proposing instead that the bill of Dromornis was better suited for tearing meat and crushing bones, similar to the unrelated terror birds found in South America. With such formidable stature, the Dromornis could effectively deter predators using its powerful beak and sharp claws. This combination of size and weaponry made it a formidable force in the prehistoric Australian landscape. Among the disturbing creatures that roamed around, one particular animal was the crown-bearer, the quincana. It was a genuine land crocodilian, not merely a crocodile look-alike. This apex predator of the Pleistocene shared similarities with modern crocodiles, but possessed unique features such as an unusual skull structure and elongated legs. This gave quincana the advantage of speed, resulting in a terrifying chase with its prey. The quincana was no small animal, with adults reaching lengths of 3 meters or 10 feet and weights of 200 kilograms or 440 pounds, comparable to a medium-sized American alligator. Some specimens even exceeded 6 meters or 20 feet. Being attacked by this giant would have immediately resulted in turning into pounded meat. Armed with teeth resembling those of theropod dinosaurs, known as ziphidont teeth that were compressed, recurved, and saw-like. With the help of such brilliantly designed teeth, the quincana could take down prey much larger than itself leaving devastating wounds with each bite. Scientists used to believe that Quincana lived, hunted, and preyed on land because of its hoof-like toes and flat tail. However, later it was proved that wasn't the case. Quincana turned out to be a real danger for early humans. Even though people built their civilizations near water to steer clear of big predators, Quincana was still a problem. Despite its primarily terrestrial lifestyle, it was also a proficient swimmer, adding to its fierce predatory nature. This skill came handy when Quincana took on prey or unfortunate humans. So if you lived in prehistoric Australia, you will be terrified of a Quincana as it ruled the water and the land with an iron jaw. Unless you're scared of giant serpents, in which case you'd be terrified of Wanambi. This name might not sound scary, but it strikes fear into anyone who knows about it. Wanambi was a ginormous snake that lived alongside Quincana and Megalania. It was unlike any snake we know today. It was part of a group called Madsoidae, known for their huge size and inflexible jaws. This serpent marvel was massive, reaching lengths close to the longest snakes alive today, like the Burmese pythons. Luckily, it didn't have venom, but its size made it into a deadlier predator for all living creatures in Australia. It probably hunted like modern snakes, ambushing prey near water and squeezing them until the blood flow stopped and they couldn't breathe. Scientists found out that Wanambi would set up natural sun traps beside local waterholes, where they would ambush kangaroos, wallabies, and other prey coming to the water to drink. One distinctive feature of Wanambi is that it had a small skull and a narrow mouth opening compared to its body size. This probably makes the animal less deadly to the prey, but that is further from the reality. Befitting the body, it had an appetite and needed to feed a lot to sustain its size. However, the limiting mouth opening made it nearly impossible to swallow prey as a whole, so it tore chunks off them instead. This nightmarish scenario might have been more common for early humans who lived there than being hunted by Megalania or Quincana. Some studies even suggest snake attacks were a major cause of death back then. It wouldn't take much time for anyone to notice that something was wrong with the simplest animals, the kangaroos. It's time to say goodbye to the cute and cuddly image of these hopping creatures because there was an animal that had even the predators on the run. Everybody must have seen this footage of a kangaroo strangling a dog. Now picture this kangaroo 3 times larger and with an ugly flat face. Yes, it's none other than the infamous Procoptodon, a vicious predator and part of an extinct genus of giant short-faced kangaroos that lived around 40,000 years ago. Being similar to that of the contemporary kangaroos, Procoptodon had a very distinctive feature. It was short-faced and distinguishable by their flat faces and forward-pointing eyes. This gave the animal a primitive appearance. Other than their features, they also startled the ecosystem around them with massive build, with the largest exceeding 3 meters or 9 feet in height and 240 kilograms in weight. This makes them 3 times the size of the largest kangaroos living today. Just like present-day kangaroos, Procoptodon was also very short-tempered. Early humans were careful not to accidentally disturb its habitat that it was extremely protective of. This flesh-tearing kangaroo had unusually long and mobile forelimbs with long recurved claws. One blow from one of these will result in limb separation, if not instant death. Even though Procoptodon was primarily herbivorous, in a startling discovery, the fossilized remains were found with traces of fang-like teeth. We know that Australian megafauna was really something else and aggression was a common happening, but still, some take the spotlight. While looking peaceful and harmless, these animals proved to be quite ferocious themselves in the face of such biological threats. An exemplary case is the Diprotodon, an extinct marsupial closely related to the modern wombat. While sharing some resemblances with the wombat, the Diprotodon stood out as a true giant, potentially weighing up to 3.85 tons, on par with a fully grown Asian elephant. This considerable size endowed it with the necessary strength and resilience, making hunting it a challenging endeavor, further deterred by its surprisingly strong bite. Despite being strictly herbivorous, the Diprotodon possessed formidable defensive capabilities, displayed by its bite force of 11,000 newtons, giving it more than enough power to technically break a human femur. Ginormous wombats were least of the troubles, as there were other animals that were running around with their primal ferocity. After all, it's understandable to believe that the mammals might have been tameable, or less troubling to the early humans, but that is far from the truth. The mammals there were just as wild and dangerous. Imagine walking around prehistoric Australia and coming face to face with a carnivorous marsupial the size of European wild boars, the thylacoleo, with adults being the largest known mammalian predators to ever live in Australia. It is often known as marsupial lions due to its resemblance in physical and hunting traits. Despite its appearance, the thylacoleo was no ordinary predator. Unlike the fearsome big cats it resembled, the thylacoleo was not a feline. Rather, it was a marsupial mammal closely related to the present-day koalas. Similar to its distant relative, the thylacoleo is believed to have possessed a relatively smaller brain. Yet, this seemingly disadvantageous trait proved to be advantageous, as it allowed for the development of exceptionally dense muscles and robust bones within the skull, resulting in the strongest pound-for-pound bite of any known mammal. Researchers estimate that the bite force of a medium-sized thylacoleo could be comparable to a lion 2.5 times its size. This suggests that this marsupial had the capability to tackle prey much larger than itself, possibly up to 15 times its weight. Its distinct dental structure contributed significantly to its hunting abilities. The thylacoleo had huge incisors that looked like elongated canines from other animals, as well as massive premolars that operated like flat blades. These teeth, combined with its powerful muscles, allowed the thylacoleo to quickly dispatch prey by penetrating deep into the flesh with its incisors and cutting important organs such as the windpipe, spinal cord, and arteries with its premolars. This efficient killing style enabled the thylacoleo to take down enormous prey in under a minute, a feat that would take an African lion 15 minutes or more to do. If its bite wasn't enough, the thylacoleo's front foot had retractable claws that could be used to kill. These claws, coupled to semi-opposable thumbs, could be easily moved, delivering lethal blows as needed. These thumbs were fascinatingly also hooked, which shows that the thylacoleo was a proficient climber, probably dragging its kills up trees in the same way leopards do. This climbing skill also allowed it to explore caves and rugged terrain, which improved its hunting powers. There is no room for hesitation that a pouncing thylacoleo was the last thing any human or animal ever wanted to encounter. However, the most dominant creature of these times is quite possibly man, which had to survive with these prehistoric beasts. Plus, nature itself was unforgiving during those times, with extreme droughts being a regular occurrence. Yet despite these challenges, humans not only survived in Australia but thrived and became the dominant species. Evidence even suggests that they hunted and preyed upon many of the prehistoric creatures mentioned earlier. But it makes you wonder, did humans stand a chance against the dire wolf? Find out in this next video. See you there, and thank you for watching.